Good day everyone, welcome back to our home economics online class. We are now in lesson 4, practice occupational health and safety procedure. So I am Miss Mary Fonte, your teacher for today. Okay, so let us now begin with the hazard and risk identification and control. So hazard and risk in the workplace. So when we say hazard is a term used to describe something that has the potential to cause harm or adverse effects to individuals, organization, property, or equipment. So we have different types of workplace hazard. So number one is the safety hazards. So when we say safety hazard, it is caused by inadequate and insufficient machine guards, unsafe workplace conditions, unsafe work practices. The second one is the biological hazards, which is caused by biological waste such as medical waste, microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, parasites, viruses, and etc. Okay, so the third type of hazard is we have the chemical hazards. Chemical hazards it is caused by exposure to chemicals in the workplace such as solid, liquid, vapor, or gaseous substances, dust, fume, or mist. Number 4 is the ergonomic hazards, physical conditions that may pose risk of injury to the musculoskeletal system caused by physiological and psychological demands on the worker, such as repetitive and forceful movements, extreme temperatures, and awkward postures arising from improper work methods and improperly designed workstation, tools, and equipment. Okay, number 5 is the physical hazard. Factors within the environment that can harm a body without necessarily touching it, like noise, vibration, energy, weather, electricity, radiation, and pressure. Number 6 is the psychological hazards, those that are basically causing stress to a worker. This kind of hazard troubles an individual very much to an extent that his general well-being is affected. Okay, the next one is the risk. So when we say risk, it is the chance or probability that a person will be harmed or experience an adverse health effect caused by a hazard. So what are the factors that influence the degree of risk? So the first one is how much a person is exposed to a hazardous thing or condition. Second, how the person is exposed, like for example, breathing in a vapor, skin contact, and how severe are the effects under the conditions of exposure. Then, risk assessment. So what risk assessment is? So risk assessment is the process where you first is identify the hazards, analyze or evaluate the risk of associated with that hazard, and then determine the appropriate ways to eliminate or control the hazard. Okay, so let's have an example. So we have three columns here, the hazards, and on the second column is the risk, and on the third column is the safety measures or the actions. Number 1, hazard is manual handling of hand tools, knives, secateurs, loppers, crowbars, weed bags, and mattocks. So the risk, it will lead to back injury or repetitive strain. So what are we going to do? What are the safety measures? So we have to teach and remind workers of correct lifting. Then the second one is the second hazard, lifting heavy objects incorrectly. So the risk, back injury or repetitive strain also, And then the safety measure, teach and remind workers of correct lifting technique, rotate task. Then the third one, repetitive movements, bending and awkward work positions. So the risk, back or limb injury or repetitive strain. Then the safety measure is to teach and remind workers of correct lifting technique, rotate task. Then we also have the trip hazards and it will lead to injury. So what are the safety measures that we are going to do? So we have to warn the volunteers and remove trip hazards before commencing work. Do not leave tools on pathways. Watch where one walks and go slowly. Mark tools with fluorescent color. Let us now proceed to the OS8 signs or symbols in the workplace. So we have here the first aid bags, slippery when wet, keep door closed at all times, wash your hands, no smoking, hazardous chemical storage area, flammable, personal protective equipment must be worn in this area and hot surface do not touch. So when we say safety signs, what is it? So when you say safety signs, it is the alert signs that help in indicating various hazards ahead. These labels help in reducing accident at workplace and on roadside. It is a process of providing information or instructions by means of placing required signboards. So different types of hazards require different types of safety labels. Okay, safety signs is consist of words, messages, and a pictorial symbol with variety of shapes, size, and colors. Each label color is standardized and reflects a specific meaning. So here's our sign colors defined. So the first one is the red color. So red color reflects immediate hazardous situation that will cause death or other serious injuries like danger signs and fire symbols. The next one is the orange color. So orange color represents a potentially unsafe situation that could cause serious injury and indicated by warning signs. And then we also have the yellow color, which is used to alert against unsafe practices, which if not avoided may result in minor or moderate injuries, like caution signs. Then the next one is the green color, indicates the emergency egress location, first aids, and other safety equipment. Then the last one, the blue color, which is used to convey safety information. Okay, so let us now proceed to the personal hygiene and proper hand washing. So when we say personal hygiene, it is a health practices and habits which enable one to stay physically healthy. So here are some ways to achieve personal hygiene. So the first one is regularly wash and cut your hair to keep a neat appearance. Number 2, brush your teeth every day and visit the dentist at least once a year. Number 3, bath every day before work or every night before you go to sleep. Number 4, wear deodorant or antiperspirant daily if you tend to sweat heavily. Number 5, scrub your hands with soap and water before you handle any food, especially when you have just come from the toilet, after touching your hair or other parts of your body, and after your hands. Cover your mouth or nose when you cough or sneeze. Okay, next, number 6, trim your nails, especially if you work in the food service. Number 7, keep hand sanitizer and facial tissues near your work desk. Number 8, use a separate towel or cloth for drying dishes, wiping countertops, and wiping hands. Number 9, avoid working with food when you have an open cut, sore, boiled, or infected wound in your hands. Number 10, keep hands out of food as much as possible. Number 11, avoid smoking while preparing or handling food, as ashes may drop into the food. Number 12, wear suitable clothes at work, wear comfortable and clean shoes, and make sure aprons are always clean. Okay, the next one is the proper hand washing. So what is the proper hand washing? So washing is the single most effective way to prevent the spread of infections. Germs can be spread casually by touching another person. You can also catch germs when you touch contaminated objects or surfaces, and then you touch your face, mouth, eyes, and nose. So what is the right way to wash your hands? So here are some ways to wash your hands. So the first one is wet your hands with clean running water, or you may use warm or cold, and apply soap. The second one is rub your hands together to make lather and scrub them well. Then be sure to scrub the back of your hands between your fingers and under your nails. Then continue rubbing your hands for at least 20 seconds. And then rinse your hands well under running water. Then dry your hands using a clean towel or air dry. Okay, on job hazards. The safety regulations in the workplace should keep job hazards on top priority. So the first, the floors have to be checked for tripping hazards. So all the walkways should be well lit, and in case there are blind spots, all the employees and workers should be aware of them. Then, next, cords and wires should be secured away from the walkways and the corridors. And then, fire safety regulations and electrical safety regulations should also be made. Next is the health hazards. Workers spread illnesses pose a great risk to the health of the entire workforce. It is required by the management to advise all the workers to stay home if they are sick as a part of workplace safety regulations. Chemical hazards. Chemicals should be rightly labeled to avoid any detrimental mistakes. Mixing of the wrong chemicals can cause a terrible chemical reaction, which could be hazardous to all the employees. Reporting system. To ensure the best safety regulations in the workplace, there needs to be a reporting system in place. Injuries, illnesses, and accidents on job should be reported in time. All illnesses should be reported as well. This is to ensure that the organization has the medical records of the employee in case of an emergency. Whistleblower. This can help increase the safety standards of the organization on the whole and work as a great safety regulation in a workplace. In fact, this whistleblower system also ensures complete attention of the employees. Okay, that's all for lesson 4, practice occupational health and safety. Thank you and God bless everyone. Keep safe.